Just give me a 1 if you hear me. Give me a 1. What ain't on?
This.
What's that?
The sound thing.
Okay, you turn on. Good to go now? It's coming on there, Jay? Volume good?
Come on.
So, all right, clap it up. Thursday scripture breakdown class. Every Thursday, Southern California has a scripture breakdown class. I'm Preacher Captain Gadalhar. Before we start, y'all have any questions you want to get into? Today we're gonna go over Christmas. Also, we're gonna go over, 1 second, I had it in my thing. What does it mean to lament? Why do Israelites lament? Why are we sad? Why are we depressed and all those things? Right, we're gonna go over that. It has to do in part with Christmas and holidays as well. So we're going to both. Briefly go into Immaculate Conception and the birth of Christ, just to prove that Christ wasn't born in Christmas, as we all know. Proven in the Bible though as well. Come on, let's get it. All right. No questions though before we start. Good to go, Shadrach?
I did have a question in Psalms 82 and 6.
All right, get it. Yeah, come. Where's your
being behind that?
Okay, just pull it. Yeah, go ahead, read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said, yea, so like ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. But ye shall die like men.
Right, so that's it. So when you hear the word gods, always know that it translates to the word powers. Ye are powers. You know what I mean? You are the sons of the power, right? And you shall die like men, letting you know that you're not a god. You know what I mean? But you are the powers. You're the sons of the power. That's all. Go ahead.
Which is Yahshua Allah Israel. Right?
That's right. Exactly. All right. Good to go?
Okay.
All right. Let's get to Christmas. Let's get the spirit of Christmas. Give me Amos 5 and 21. Give me Jeremiah 10 first. Then we'll go to Amos. I'm going to pull up Nimrod for you right now. Huh?
So I got 10 and 1.
Yeah, okay. Jeremiah 10 and 1.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the what?
The heathen.
There you go, right? The scripture said, don't learn the way of the heathen. When you're talking about the heathen, we're talking about someone who is outside of the nation of Israel, right? Hold on 1 second. Someone who is outside of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven,
Mm-hmm.
for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. There's signs of heaven, right? Don't be dismayed with the signs of heaven, like a solar eclipse, right? Or a shooting star, things like that. Go ahead.
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
Mm-hmm.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman.
There you go.
With the axe.
Hold that right there, right? So we'll get to verse 3 in a second. So let's get to what is Christmas, right? Christmas is, hold on. I'm gonna read this for you right quick, all right? God. Solid. So what is Christmas, right? Christmas is a pagan holiday, right? That is celebrated throughout America, throughout a lot of the countries on the world, right? In the world. Of course, it's supposed to be connected with Jesus Christ, which is a lie. It's a false lie. We're going to prove that. It's supposed to be connected with giving and loving people. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to be connected with the Christmas tree, which is the main thing, right? The tree, the giving of gifts, all these things, right? So the origins of it comes from a man named Nimrod. Nimrod was a Hamite, right? Nimrod was an African. This is the grandson of Ham. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about Ham, Ham is the son of Noah. Ham was going to be the brother. That's like not the brother, but he's the man who is the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro, so the Africans, right? So you got the Egyptians, the Canaanites, the Hittites, all these different Africans that came from Ham, right? And Nimrod is a descendant of him. And Nimrod was a king, right? Nimrod was a king. And I'll read this real quick. This is just a little origin, right? The Christmas tree was a symbol of RCG, often pointed to as unique evidence that connected the modern worldly pagan Christian religion with the pagan worship of ancient Egypt. That's where it comes from. It's pagan. It's mixed between Christianity and Egyptology, or not Egyptology, but the ways of the Egyptians, right? I'll read that again. That connected the modern worldly pagan Christian religion with the pagan worship of ancient Egypt, Rome, and Assyria. Writers and speakers often use Jeremiah 10 as the biblical text to prove that these trees are condemned by God, which is correct, right? These Christmas trees that you put in your house and you worship is against the scriptures. Why? Why? Anybody know why it's against the scriptures? Go ahead.
Because we weren't told to celebrate.
Because we weren't told. That's true, but it's another reason too. It's a deeper reason. It's the spirit of Nimrod that lives in that tree. Now we're gonna get to how his mother put a tree up and would bring gifts to the tree honoring Nimrod. Right, we'll get to that. Right. Writers and speakers often use Jeremiah 10 as a biblical text to prove that these trees are condemned by God. Let's examine the materials they present as ironclad, evidence that the Christmas tree extended back to the ancient Babylonian Egyptian religion. Right. So we got to get the facts, right? First, understand that the leader of RCG largely copied his materials verbatim from the booklet that Herbert Armstrong wrote decades earlier. He claims to know more about Christmas than any person alive. In a sermon towards the end of 2019, only released to his membership, he made the prophetic claim that Jesus Christ will return to the earth and only to his small group during the Christmas season. That obviously didn't happen, but does not diminish the bombastic claims. Hold on one second. What historic sources does RCG use to prove the Christmas tree extends back to Babylonian religion? Is in fact obvious that his sources should be easily sustained. The true origin of Christmas, right? No booklet about Christmas is complete without some explanation of a Christmas tree. We have touched on it without directly focus on it. The modern Christmas tree originated in Germany, but the Germans got it from the Romans, who got it from the Babylonians, that got it from the Egyptians, right? So just give me a little brief history. 1 second. Perfect. So this is one of the fables that they will use, right? An old Babylonian fable told of an evergreen tree which sprang out of a dead tree stump. The old stump symbolized the dead Nimrod. Y'all hear that, right? Which is not true, but this is the origin of where it comes from. For that tree representation of Nimrod. The old stump symbolized the dead Nimrod. The new evergreen tree symbolized that Nimrod had come to life again in Tammuzah. Among the Druids, the oak was sacred. Among the Egyptians, it was palm, and in Rome, it was the fir, which was decorated with red berries during the Saturnalia. Y'all know about that, the Saturnalia, right? We'll get into that as well. So now let's read 10 and 3. Jeremiah 10 and 3.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
Mm-hmm.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
There you go. Keep going.
Verse 4. They deck it with silver. They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with what?
Silver and with gold.
There you go. They deck it with silver and gold. Oh. That's what you do with your Christmas tree in the house, right? You take that tree, you go to the little what's that called? The Christmas tree patch, I believe, right? You go over there, grab you the biggest tree you can that can fit in your living room or your living room, your apartment, your house, whatever, and you put it in the corner and you decorate it with silver and gold. That's what you do. You think it's innocent. You think it's just for the kids. Really, you're putting the spirit of Nimrod in your house, who was against the spirit of Christ. You understand, right?
Okay.
So hold on one second. We keep going.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
They fasten it with what?
Nails and with hammers, that it move not.
Y'all understand, right? He fastened it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Go ahead.
Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go.
Right. Go ahead.
Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
So wait. So before we go to, I'm gonna go to Saturnalia in 1 second. Let me finish with Nimrod, right? Who is Nimrod? Let's get to that, right? Who is Nimrod? And I'm gonna read it for you real quick. Nimrod, also spelled Nimrod, legendary biblical figure of the book of Genesis. Nimrod is described in Genesis 10:8 through 12, the first on earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. The only other references Nimrod in the Bible is Micah 5:6. Hold on one second. There is some consensus among biblical scholars that the mention of Nimrod in Genesis is a reference not to individual, but to an ancient people in Mesopotamia. The description of Nimrod is a mighty hunter before the Lord and an intrusion in the context, but probably, like the historical notices, derived from some old Babylonian saga. However, no equivalent name has yet been found in the Babylonian other cuneiform records. Right? Hold on one second. Trying to get the right source. I had the right source. 1 second. I'll read it right here. Right? Nimrod, the son of Cush, right? And therefore a great grandson of Noah. Nimrod was described as the king of the land of Shinar. The Bible states that he was a mighty hunter, but later in the extra biblical traditions that identified Nimrod as the ruler who commissioned the construction of the Tower of Babel, which led to the reputation as a king who was rebellious against God. You understand, right? Of course, Nimrod was definitely, half a homosexual or a full-blown homosexual as well, right? Worship Baal as well. Y'all understand, right? This is all who Nimrod was. This is the spirit of Christmas. This is the spirit of, giving. Giving what is what I'm going to ask, right? Giving what? What happens at Christmas? What do you see at Christmas? Your family is what you think is a great thing to have around you. Most people hate their family because of holidays like Christmas, because that's when they got to see everybody that they hate, people that molested them. And there's a time where this cat was doing this to a whole bunch of children as a king. You understand, right? That is the spirit that we live in, right? So let me get to Saturnalia. I'm gonna go back to Nimrod in a second. What verse you at?
I just finished
Verse 5?
5.
All right, no sweat. Give me Amos 5:21. Let's get Saturnalia, right? What is Saturnalia? Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar. Ancient Roman calendar, right? It's the most popular holiday. What's the most popular holiday in America? Christmas, right? Who you know that America is directly resurrected as Rome again. Y'all understand, right? Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Rome calendar, derived from older farming-related rituals of midwinter and the winter solstice, especially the practice of offering gifts or sacrifices to the gods during the winter sowing season. The pagan celebration of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time, began as a single day, but by the late Republic, it had expanded to a week-long festival beginning December 17th on the Julian calendar, which the Romans used at the time. The winter solstice fell on December 25th, right? So we'll get to what is it, right? During Saturnalia, work and business came to a halt. Schools and court of law closed, and the normal social patterns were suspended. People decorated their homes, what you would see today, right, with lights on people's houses, right, and wreaths on people's doors and stuff like that. Now they got blow-ups. They got blow-up snowmen and stuff like that they put in front of their house, right? So that's what it's been going on forever, right? People decorated their homes with wreaths and other greenery and shed their traditional togas in favor of colorful clothes known as synthesis, right? What you will have today is like a ugly sweater party, right? Even enslaved people did not have to work during Saturnalia, but were allowed to participate in the festivities. In some cases, they sat at the head of the table while their master served them instead of working. Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts. Wax taper candles called Sarai were common given during Saturnalia to signify light returning after the solstice. 1 second. On the last day of Saturnalia, celebrations known as Siglaria, many Romans gave their friends and loved ones small terracotta figurines known as Signalaria, which may have referred back to older celebrations involving human sacrifice. You understand, right? Saturnalia was by far jolliest Roman holiday. The Roman poet Catullus famously described it as the best of times. Riotous were the festivities that the Roman author Pliny reportedly built a sun-proof room so that he could work during the racial celebrations. Right? Hold on 1 second. Let me get down to the nitty-gritty. Here we go, right here. Here it is, right here. All right. That's where you get to the chaos of what it really is, right? Then I'll give you a little bit more as well. I got your question. Let me read this. In Roman households, a mock king was chosen. The Saturnalius Principes, or leader of the Saturnalia, sometimes also called the Lord of Misrule, right? Usually a lowlier member of the household. This is like your family member who is the child molester, right? Who is a thief, crackhead, drug addict, whatever, right? This is the person. The figure was responsible for making mischief during the celebrations, insulting guests, wearing crazy clothing, chasing women and girls. The idea was that he ruled over chaos. And mind you, this is the spirit of Christmas, the Saturnalia, right? That they celebrated those 8 days. The idea was that he ruled over chaos rather than the normal Roman order. The common holiday custom of hiding coins or other small objects in cakes is one of many dating back to Saturnalia, as this was a method of choosing the mock king. Let me get a little more. Thanks to the Roman Empire's conquest in Britain, this is how Saturnalia led to Christmas. But this is a little bit more of what they didn't say. A lot of craziness was going on back then, right? As far as human sacrifices, drunkenness, right? Drunkenness and sex with other people, right? Thanks to the Roman Empire's conquest in Britain and the rest of Europe from the 2nd century BC to the 4th century AD, and their suppression of older seasonal rites practiced by the Celts and other groups, today Western cultures derive many of the traditional celebrations of midwinter from Saturnalia. This is how Saturnalia led to Christmas, right? The Christian holiday of Christmas especially owes many of its traditions to the ancient Roman festival, including the time of year Christmas is celebrated. The Bible does not give a date for Jesus' birth, right? So we say we're gonna get into that. In fact, some theologians have concluded he was probably born in spring, which is true, as suggested by reference to shepherds and sheep in the nativity story. But by the 4th century AD, Western Christian churches settled on celebrating Christmas on December 25th, which allowed them to incorporate the holiday with Saturnalia and other popular pagan midwinter traditions. You understand, right? So now the church came together and said, oh, okay, we can't say it was Christmas, and we can't truly say it was Jesus' birthday because we know that he was born in the spring, but we can tell the people it was Jesus' birthday, they'll respect it more. Well, we'll just keep it traditional during the winter so we can keep all our festivals together. You understand? But by the fourth, so I gotta read this. Kind of did. Okay. Is Christmas a pagan holiday? Of course, we're gonna go into it. Okay, this is how they made you accept it, right? Pagans and Christians coexisted, though not always happily. During this period, and this likely represented an effort to convince the remaining pagan Romans to accept Christianity as Rome's official religion. Before the end of the 4th century, many of the traditions of Saturnalia, including gifts, singing, lighting candles, feasting, and merrymaking, have become absorbed by the traditions of Christmas as many of us know them today. All right, so that's how Saturnalia became what it is today, Christmas as it is today, in a nutshell, right? So now let's get some more. You got Amos 5:21 up?
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, and verse 21. I despise your feast days.
What did God say about Christmas?
I despise your feast days.
Y'all understand, right? That's what he said about these holidays. I despise your feast days, right? Your feast days is what the America gives you, what the white man allows you to celebrate. These are the feast days that you celebrate because of your oppression, because of you not knowing who you are or what to celebrate. 1 second. Okay, give me some more.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Verse 22. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings.
Though you offer me what?
Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
There you go. Keep going.
Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
Perfect. Take away from me the noise of thy songs. What kind of songs are sung during Christmas? Anybody know? Yeah, Christmas carols, right? A whole bunch of Christmas carols are sung. A lot of church folks be loving the music around this time too, right? You're just getting the spirit of Christmas. It's coming through the walls. It's coming through everywhere. If y'all ain't been singing Christmas songs in your head, the Lord was with you. Say it again.
It's a pagan.
Raise your hand next time you speak up. Go ahead.
It's a pagan holiday.
Absolutely, it's a pagan holiday. Y'all understand, right? Okay, we good to go on that. Let's go back to Jeremiah.
Like Jeremiah 10.
10 and yeah, go back to 10 and 3.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Right, they deck it with silver and gold. That's what we talked about earlier about what you do in your house, right? You know how many Christmas trees burn a year in someone's house? Anybody know?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot. Hold on. What's the percentage of Christmas trees that cause fires? I'll read it for you right now. James.
I'll say 60%.
Yeah, I think it's a little higher than that.
Oh, whoa.
I can't find the right number, but it's the electrical shorts that kill it though, right? So that all the plugs that are put up, people are not professional. They don't know how much plugs can go into a certain like how many volts can go into certain plugs. You get what I'm saying? So after that, it reacts, your fire burns up. Go ahead.
So lucky certain way. They also, when I was growing up, I seen on TV, they had the tree right next to the fireplace.
That too.
Shit fly out.
And that, you know, that tree burn up super fast.
Yeah.
Super fast. You know what I mean? Ruining people, killing people at sometimes. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get to it, right? This is why we don't celebrate it. You mean Hosea 4 and 6?
Book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Y'all understand, right? We destroy from the lack of the knowledge of not knowing what to celebrate and what to do. That's why we just had Hanukkah, right? Hanukkah is something the Lord said we should do, right? But of course, we don't know that we can't be out here celebrating these holidays because your Christian pastor don't tell you any of these things. He don't tell you not to do these things. He tell you to do them. Matter of fact, he hold the service at his church, right? They be having a Christmas service at the church, right? Y'all been to those growing up? Some of y'all been to those. Don't try to front now. It's all right. You know what I mean? That's how we grew up, thinking we was doing what the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you something. There was a cat named Nicodemus, not Nicodemus, a real brother named Saint Nick, who would bring gifts to orphans. You know what I mean? He was a black man. That's where they steal that name Saint Nick from. You know what I mean? Now everything is stolen from you, by the way. Everything is stolen from you. The black man was giving orphans gifts because they had no one to give them, no one to look out for them. So he would go into the orphanage and give them gifts himself. You understand? Go ahead.
Sorry, I heard like they should cut like the little black babies up and put them in like how you wrap up a gift tree or whatever.
Mhm.
They should wrap them up and give them to each other or something like that.
That's true. That's true. We'll get to that as well.
Oh, okay.
1 second.
Stop.
That's absolutely true. That's why we can't be celebrating this. You don't even know how deep it gets. You know what I'm saying? We just look at the surface of things because you get to be around your family and you're giving somebody, you're buying presents. This time of year, everyone steals. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is stealing. People like to say, oh, you know, they got to pick up a couple hours, extra hours for work. No, they stealing out this during this time. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to make it happen. Christmas is going to break you. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is going to break you because you're going to have to find a gift to give to your kids and all this. And then you're going to give all the credit to a white man for it. Go ahead. Shut her up.
Yeah, when you was reading earlier about the Saturnian festivals
Mhm.
and all of that, and how the higher ups would be serving the slave or whatever,
Right.
just that time of year, just that day or whatever. But it reminded me when I was at work, every time when Christmas rolled around, all of the higher ups are serving all of us, like, you know, that are just regular employees, clerks, and, you know, all the people that's under them.
Yeah, all of a sudden, huh?
They so humble and like they're giving and all of this.
Come on. Go ahead.
That's why I don't say the giving spirit.
Huh?
They get into the giving spirit.
Right. That's when the giving spirit comes. Give me a bonus. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Give me some money for all the work I do here. I don't care about getting served by you. Give me some more money. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get these precepts. All right, what was we at?
Jeremiah 10:4.
10:4. Go ahead.
So like I think Hosea 4:6. So like,
Sorry, that's what we was at. Go ahead.
That thou shalt be no priest to me,
Mm-hmm.
seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
Y'all understand, right? Because you have forgot the law of God, the Lord said he also gonna forget his children. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why we in these conditions? Are we under this spell of wanting to be in the spirit of Christmas? Is because we forgot the law. What does the law say, man? The law says you got to do what the Lord says. People love to say they love God, but they can't do what God says. If you can't do what God says, you don't love God. Y'all understand, right?
Okay.
That's in the Bible. The Bible says, if you love me, keep my commandments, right? Let me get a little bit more. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. This cat's talking in the chat. I don't know what he's talking about. I thought I seen a question on here. Okay, sorry. All right. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 12:5 in the Apocrypha.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And also those merciless murderers of children.
Go to verse 1. Let me read it from verse 1.
Verse 1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. Verse 2. Therefore chastenest thou them by little and little, that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance.
Keep going.
Wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord.
Keep going.
Verse 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou had selected, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft.
Read again. Who thou hateth what?
Who thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices.
And what kind of sacrifices?
Wicked sacrifices.
Right. Well, we read about Saturnalia, right? About the sacrifices they would do. Wicked sacrifices. You understand? Listen, anything that the white man does, you gotta know is of Satan. You understand? It's
Right.
of Satan, man. You wonder why you doing these things, man. Like you thinking you celebrating Christmas, you celebrating times when people was getting sacrificed, man. Straight up. Bloodshed. People having unlawful sex with men on men, men with children. You understand? During these times. Y'all get me, right? So they take everything and they go to the extreme left. And here we are following them blindly. You understand, right? Any more on 5? Keep going.
And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh.
And devours of what?
Man's flesh.
Go ahead. And devours of what?
And of man's flesh.
Y'all understand, right? And those devourers of men's flesh. Give me Exodus 22 and 18.
The book of Exodus, chapter. The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast.
So like, read it again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Thou shalt not suffer a what?
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
That's it right there, y'all know, man. You can't suffer a witch to live. Listen, man, Santa Claus is a witch. That's a wizard. You get what I'm saying? Wizards can't live. That person that you want to give all the what's that credit to, he can't live, man. You gotta get him out your mind. He's not a real thing. And furthermore, don't ever lie to your kids about any of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of us grow up and what? We lie to our kids about the tooth fairy. Lie to you. You giving credit to everybody but yourself about everything, right? Lie to your kids about Christmas. Give me some more. The bunny. What's it? Go ahead. The Easter bunny. Give it. It's some more out there. Ain't there? Valentine's Day, right? All these things, man. You lying to your kids about it. You gonna tell them a lie, and then they're gonna unravel it later and look at you like, damn, why didn't you just tell me? But of course, being a kid and the fun of being a kid is bigger than telling them the truth. And don't get trapped into that either, right? A lot of people love to say that that's about the kids. It's about the kids. Like, no, it's not. It's about the Lord first. You understand? Anytime you want to do things for the kids above the Most High, your stuff is not in order. You understand? You always got to make sure you put the Lord first, not the kids. Not fun, like having fun, like a kid's birthday, right? People are like, oh, it's just for the kid. It's just for the kid. No, it's not. You can't say that. You got to do what the Lord said to do. That's more important than how a kid feels. And he's a child. You rule over the child, don't you? Don't let the child rule over you. You understand? You got to be stronger than that. He got to be able to look at a father and a mother as being stronger than himself or herself. You know what I'm saying? Not pulled away by emotions. If you let the children's emotions tug on you and that makes you do something wrong or against the Lord, then you got to get your mind right. You know what I mean? You got to get your mind right. Give me Leviticus 20 and 27. Oh, Slaggy, before you go there, give me Deuteronomy 32 and 16.
Sorry, 32 and 16?
Yes.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. Go ahead.
With abominations provoked they him to anger.
You understand, right? With these abominations, we provoke the Lord to anger. You know what I mean? A lot of people die during these times, during the season of, or during the month of December. A lot of things happen. A lot of murders happen. A lot of things come out. A lot of people go to prison. You know what I mean? You're angering the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God.
They sacrifice unto who?
Unto devils.
They sacrifice unto who?
Unto devils.
That's who you sacrificing to. Unto devils, and not to God. Keep going.
To gods whom they knew not.
To God. Hold on. To God's what?
To gods whom they knew not.
That's who you're sacrificing to. Gods that you don't know about. Who knows about this God Saturn? You know about this God? Go ahead, Shadrach.
And the last of the verse 5 Wisdom of Solomon, it says, and the feast of blood.
And the feast of what?
Blood.
Y'all understand? The feast of blood. Keep going on.
To new gods that came newly up.
That to new gods who came newly up. Keep going.
Whom your fathers feared not.
Who Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not fear. We didn't fear these guys, so why do what they do? Why do what they say? Keep going.
Verse 18. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful and hast forgotten God that formed thee. When the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
Keep going.
And he said, I will hide my face from thee.
I would what?
I will hide my face from thee.
What does it mean when the Lord said he's going to hide his face from you? Go ahead.
You know what? How you guys say it? Sorry, I would say like shut the book, like take the word away, like.
Oh, you right there. That's yep. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Don't let whatever happened to you happen to you.
There you go. That's how you hide your face. Because when you show him your face, he's looking at you. When he hide his face, he don't care what happened to you. You get what I'm saying?
Come on.
That's what a good father would do for any child that disobeys his orders. He'll just look away, and whatever happens to you is on you, because you didn't obey, you didn't listen. Keep going.
Verse 19. Oh, sorry. And he said, I will hide my face from thee. I will see what therein shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
One more time.
Verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from thee. I will see what therein shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Keep going.
Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
They have moved me to what?
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Go ahead.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell.
That's us, man. Where that lowest hell at? That's ghettos in America. That is the Lord's anger being burned to the lowest hell because of our disobedience. Shut up.
And that foolish nation of the Edomites, right?
God, that's the foolish nation, right? Keep going. Go ahead.
I mean, they foolish as hell.
Right. Absolutely. Keep going.
For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Verse 23. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spin mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. Verse 25. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin.
Read it again, verse 25.
The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin.
That's what happened, man. Like that's what happened. The sword is going to destroy both the virgin and the young man. The virgin is the young woman, the young sister, right? And the young man. You see your brothers and sisters destroyed out here. You understand? That was the prophecy that was going to happen to us. Any more?
Come on.
Keep going.
The suckling also with the man of gray hairs. That's it.
Solid. Perfect. Why are we in these conditions? Why are we sad? Why this has happened to us? Let's get into this, right? Let's get into the depression factor, right? Or the sadness of it. Let me get Lamentations 4:17.
4:18, sir.
No, 4 and 17.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
As for us, our eyes are yet filled for our vain help.
There you go, right? Before you go there, give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. Hold where you at, James. Give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1, Avant.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, that ye be not soon shaken in mind,
Don't be shaken in your mind. Keep going.
or be troubled,
Mm-hmm.
neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand.
Right. The day of Christ is at hand. Hold where you at right there. Remember that. The day of Christ is at hand. Go back to where you at, James.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 16. 17.
Mm-hmm.
As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
Right. Our eyes failed us for our vain help. Why did our eyes fail us? Because we was looking for something that wasn't there for us. You get what I'm saying? We was looking for someone to help us who would never help us. Right? We're going to uncivilized people to try to find civilization. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Keep going.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right. In our watching, in our waiting for it, we don't watch for a nation who cannot save us. Not only have we watched for a nation that can't save us, we follow them in everything they do. You get what I'm saying? Because of nothing happening to them and all the crimes they commit, we believe that nothing will happen to us when we commit crimes. But that's a lie. You get what I'm saying? That's a lie. And why is it like that? Hold where you at right there, right? Shadrach, give me Psalms 147 and 19. Why is it like that? Why can they commit crimes and why can they do things and nothing happen to them right now, at least? But when we commit crimes, we lead the world and people put in prison, right? We Psalms 147. What's that about? No. I'm about to read the precept.
Psalms chapter 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob.
He shows word unto who?
Jacob,
There you go.
his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right. So the Lord just said this, right? All the things that is written in the Bible is only for a certain people. All those laws are for a certain people. But guess what? When you get those laws, now those judgments come for you. You understand? The things that happens to you when you break the law is only going to happen to you. He said he hasn't dealt with any other nation but you. So listen, they can do whatever the hell they want. They can eat whatever they want, do whatever they feel like it. But you can't. That's the reason why you can't follow them. You understand? You can't follow them in everything they do because they're free to do whatever because they don't have a law that prohibits them from anything. But you do. You understand, right? So now go back to where you was holding. James.
Verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
They what?
They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps. Go ahead.
That we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near.
Mm-hmm.
Our days are fulfilled.
Right. So now they not only do they can't guide us and we look to them for help, we looking for someone who is hunting your steps. What does it mean to hunt your steps? To be after you, to look upon you and want to hurt you. You get what I'm saying? Those are the people. And black people, Hispanic people, love them so much. How much does black people and Hispanic people love white people? So much. So much. They forgive white people, so quick. They forgive a white person quicker than they forget their own people. You know what I mean? Shut her up. You got a question?
Just like that judge, for example. I forget when it was a female judge. She was a sister. And
Oh, yeah.
The lady was being tried for a crime or serious felony or murder or something.
Mhm.
She goes down there after she charges or whatever, and she combing the lady's hair. The
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah, I remember.
Which that never happened to none of our people.
Right.
None of our people can say, well, judge, get down off their bench and come down and comb somebody's hair or give them, try to console them or something like that.
Remember the brother of the cat who got murdered went to go hug her. He asked the judge, "Can I give her a hug?" And he went to go hug her. Bathroom. It's not from I forget. It was in Texas, I believe. Yeah. I remember that though. But absolutely, who forgives that? You know what I'm saying? I remember the people in people got murdered in Charleston, South Carolina. They forgave that white devil quick as hell. Now they forgave him for murdering 9 people. You know what I mean? So I mean that's who we are, right? Any more on that up?
Come, sir. For our end is come.
Mm-hmm. Keep where you at, Avant?
2 Thessalonians 2:1.
2 and 1.
That was a precept before. I was at also like verse 2.
Verse 2, go ahead.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
That ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand.
Remember, the day of Christ is at hand. Don't forget that part. You understand? The day of Christ is at hand. Hold where you at. Now give me Luke 13 and 1.
The book of Luke, chapter 13 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
There were present at the season some that told him of the Galileans whose blood Pilate.
He was right. Go ahead.
There were present at that season some that told him of the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And Yahushua answering said unto them, suppose ye that the Galileans were sinners above all the Galileans.
Right. So these Galileans that he's talking about are people of Galilee. I mean, these are Israelite stuff, right? These are Black and Hispanic men and women who died, right? Go ahead. They died a horrible death. Go ahead.
Because they suffered such things.
Because the way they died, they must have been the most evilest people because of how they died. They talking to Christ, and Christ responds by saying, go ahead.
Verse 3, I tell you, nay, but except ye repent, ye shall all likewise perish.
Y'all understand, right? Except ye repent, ye shall all likewise perish. Are people that celebrate Christmas, are they going to be the most evil people on the face of the earth? No, they're not. But if they don't change, then they can suffer death. You understand? If you don't change, you can suffer death. You understand? That's why it's important to change. It doesn't matter what you do. The Lord said this: if you commit one sin, you break all the whole law. You keep all the law. You break one of the laws, you break the whole law. So that's why it's important that we had to repent. These cats wasn't the most evil. The people who celebrate Christmas, they're not going to be the most evil people. It's actually some decent people who might be in the world who are sinners. That doesn't mean they're so evil. You know what I mean? But if they don't repent, things can happen to them. So you put that in your mind how you want to be, right? So the Lord, so now we back at 2 Thessalonians, right? He said, the time of the Lord is at hand. Go back to that.
Verse 2, that ye be not so shaken in mind.
Don't be shaken in your mind. Go ahead.
Or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means.
Let no man deceive you by any means. Go ahead.
For that day shall not come.
Right. That day will come. That day will come. Go ahead.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So,
right. First, it got to be a falling away, right? You got to fall away from this place, from America, from the spirit of the Antichrist, the spirit of, Esau, the spirit of believing that this is the place for you, that this is your homeland, right? Hold it right there, right? Now let's go to Ezekiel 33 and 11.
sorry, 33.
Okay.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
Say unto them, as I live, saith the Lord God, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
You understand this, right? The Lord said he doesn't have pleasure in killing people that are wicked. That doesn't make him feel good. That doesn't give him pleasure to do so. You understand? People who celebrate Christmas, celebrate holidays, who die of whatever, COVID, whatever. That doesn't feel that the Lord doesn't find pleasure in putting them to death. You understand? Go ahead.
But that the wicked turn from his way.
But the wicked what?
Turn from his way.
That's what he wants. How about this? Instead of if you're doing wickedness, what if the Lord said, listen, I got every right to kill you, but I'd rather not kill you. I'd rather you turn from your wicked ways. I'd rather you start being an upright citizen under my authority, under the law. That's how he'd rather you be than kill you. Killing you is what he doesn't, is the last thing he wants to do to you, but he will do it. That's the point. You get what I'm saying? The people of Galilee, they found that out. They died. They died a horrible death. He's saying that he doesn't find pleasure in putting you to death, but death is definitely the end of someone who doesn't turn from their wickedness. You understand?
Okay.
Keep going where you at. It's like you got any more on that, Shadrach?
Okay.
Keep going.
Turn from his way and live.
Turn from his way and what?
And live.
Y'all understand, right? He wants you to live. He wants you to live under his rules, though. That's the point. You understand? Any more?
Turn ye from your evil ways. For why will ye die, O house of Israel?
You understand, right? Turn from your evil ways. For why would you die? To the children of Israel, to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Why would you die? You rather die than do. You rather do wickedness than live. That's what he's asking, right? So now go back to where you was at. I'm trying to tie these two precepts together as I go and about how, right? Go ahead.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man deceive
Make
you.
sure you pick up from where we was actually reading that, though. I don't want to keep going back and forth. Go ahead.
But let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed,
Go ahead.
the son of perdition.
The son of what?
The son of perdition.
The son of what?
The son of perdition.
If you want to reveal the son of perdition, meaning the son of sin, the son of Satan, then you have to fall away from your old man and become this new man who doesn't give a damn about Christmas, who doesn't give a damn about birthdays, who doesn't give a damn about getting high, who doesn't give a damn about being an alcoholic, who doesn't give a damn about, sleeping with women outside your race. You're going to have to die from that person. You're going to have to let that person go if you want the son of perdition to be revealed, which is the Esau according to the Bible. Y'all understand? If you want him to be revealed to the earth, why do you think we say it so much in here? Why do you think we say it so much? Because we're trying to reveal him to you. So that way his empire can fall. So this place can fall and ours can resurrect. Y'all understand? So if you gotta fall away. So the first thing we in December, right? Don't celebrate Christmas. That's the first thing you do. Don't celebrate Christmas. That's the first thing you can do, right? Don't celebrate this holiday, right? And then when it comes to New Year's, don't go out on New Year's. That's another one. That's next. It's another one people die on. Don't you find it funny how black and Hispanics die on these holidays? Some people gonna get shot on New Year's. How many guns are gonna get shot in the air and bullets gonna come down and take someone's child or something, right? Those things happen all the time. July 4th, one of the worst holidays ever, right? For people dying. It happens all the time because you can mask fireworks with gunshots. You got what I'm saying? You can mask them. So these things happen because we're out on days that we shouldn't be out on. You understand? That's when we're out. Keep going up.
Verse 4. Who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God.
And this he opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God. What does it mean to be opposed? To be against everything that the Lord stands for. So this son of perdition, he's against everything the Lord says. And then he exalts himself above the Most High. So when you go into these churches and you go into, these establishments who say that are religious establishments, they say that they're the God because their religion is bigger than the truth in their minds. Right? Keep going.
Or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God.
Perfect. So that he is God sitting in the temple of God. Now stay right there, right? So now someone give me Jeremiah 6:14.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly,
Right. They have healed the hurt of my daughter, of the daughter of my people slightly. Go ahead.
Saying peace, peace, when there is no peace.
Right. They say peace, peace, when there is no peace. You know what I mean? That's how you heal someone slightly, by giving them Christmas, by giving them, you know, another day to forget their burden. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna give you these Christmas. They're gonna give you New Year's. You know what I mean? They're gonna give you some days off here pretty soon, right? They say that, yeah, go ahead, man, it's good, right? But what they do to you, Shadrach? They said they sat you down, they served you, right?
Right, they serve all us employees.
Right, they serve all the employees at the job and all of that. They might bring a food truck for free, you know, whatever. They try to heal you slightly, saying peace when there is no peace. There is no peace. You know what I mean? You have to go to war to find peace. You understand? That's what it is. You can't have peace by someone just telling you it's peace. It'd never be that simple. You understand? Give me 2 Chronicles 7 and 14.
Second Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land.
Read it from the top one more time.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves.
If my people that are called by my name, right? What is the Lord's name? Yasha or Slakia? Yahweh, right? The Lord's name is Yahweh. Go ahead.
And pray and seek my face.
And pray and seek my face. Go ahead.
And turn from their wicked ways.
And what?
Turn from their wicked ways.
That's the other part. You got to turn from your wicked ways. Go ahead.
Then will I hear from heaven.
Then will he hear from heaven. Go ahead.
And will forgive their sin.
You understand, right? That's how this works. You think the Lord you want the Lord to hear your prayers, you can't be wicked. You understand? You want the Lord to hear your prayers, you can't be wicked. So the Lord, your prayers, while you out there sitting, is falling on deaf ears. You understand? Don't allow your prayers to fall on deaf ears. Be someone who is upright, so the Lord can change, and so like he can change his mind and want to hear you and want to help you and want to forgive you. Right? Drop that. Give me Jeremiah 7 and 4. So we're going to read Jeremiah 7 and 4, 9 and 10, and we're going to go back to where you was at. Okay.
7 and 4.
Okay. Hey, Con, I'll answer your question. Give me a second.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 7 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Trust ye not in lying words.
Trust ye what?
Trust ye not in lying words.
Trust ye not in lying words. Go ahead.
Saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these.
What does that sound like? Anybody know? That sound like church, right? Hey man, church used to say this is the house of God. It's the house of God. This is where the Lord's spirit is in this place. The Lord said, don't trust in lying words, saying that the temple of God are these. Drop to verse 9.
Verse 9. Will ye still murder and commit adultery?
Right. Will you still kill and murder? It's like what is it?
Will ye still murder and commit adultery?
Will you still murder and commit adultery? Go ahead.
And swear falsely?
And swear falsely? Go ahead.
And burn incense unto Baal?
And burn incense unto Baal? Go ahead.
And walk after other gods?
What does it mean to burn incense unto Baal? Anybody know? Go ahead.
Like how people think they spiritual and they burn incense and sage and stuff like that.
Nah, that's a good guess. It's just smoking weed. When you smoking weed, you smoking to other gods. You understand? Go ahead.
And walk after other gods who ye know not.
Mm-hmm. What verse you at?
Verse 10. No.
That's the end of it.
No, that was in verse 9.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 10. And come and stand before me in this house,
mm-hmm.
which is called by my name, and say.
Right, which is called by my name, and say, this is the house of Baal, by the way. Go ahead.
We are delivered to do all these abominations.
Say what?
We are delivered to do all these abominations.
That's what they say in the church, man. What they say in the church, you can do it. You can do whatever you want because God's gonna love you regardless. That's a lie. You understand? That is not true according to the Bible. You cannot do whatever you want, and God would not love you if you commit crimes or you break the law. He would not love you. Why would he kill someone he loved? For being perfect, right? Only person he killed for being perfect was Christ, and he did it because of you. Everybody else gets killed because of their sins. You understand? Keep going. That's it?
No, you want verse 11.
Let me hear it.
Verse 11, is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes?
Right. That's what it is. That's what it became, a den of robbers. Now let's go back to where you was holding. Okay.
Let me start from verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
No, go to end of 5.
Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. And now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
Go ahead.
For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work.
The mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Go ahead.
Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Go ahead.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
There you go. Perfect. Hold it right there, right? Now, give me 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. I'm going to break all that down, so I'm going to go read a couple of these and go back to that.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Right. Such are what? Read it again from the top.
For such are false apostles.
Some are false apostles. Go ahead.
Deceitful workers.
Deceitful workers. Go ahead.
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. That's what you have out here. Some cats who think they doing the work of the Lord, think they saying something that is that they have the authority to say, but they don't at all. Go ahead, Shadow. You want to say that?
Yeah, there was it reminded me of that pastor in Brooklyn
Mhm.
that he got robbed first, I think. Yeah, he got robbed first, and then he assaults one of the parishioners in his church, who was a lady or whatever. She was trying to just write a book about, apostles or whatever, church people.
Uh-huh.
And then on top of that, he was found to be brought up on charges for being fraud. He defrauded his flock.
Damn.
Selling them land. Trying to sell them land and wasn't nothing attached to it.
That's what you have out here. Some people that change and transform themselves. What you would have back in the day, you had a lot of pimps, right? A lot of pimps in the 70s, 60s, and 70s who changed and became pastors. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing. A real thing. They changed their way a little bit and became a pastor. You know what I'm saying? You have cats that come off the streets and think they just go have the authority to teach. And they don't. You have to be authorized to teach. You understand?
Right.
Drop that. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 50.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy knife, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
All right, these are the people that told you to celebrate Christmas, by the way. After they took everything from you, then they tell you, oh, let's celebrate Christmas, man. We go, work extra hard. And this is the part too. This is another thing about Christmas too. They know you're gonna pick up a couple more hours on that shift. You know what I'm saying? I remember a lot of brothers who work for Amazon. They say this is peak season. Is it called peak season?
Come.
Peak season, when they get 10 more hours of work. You know what I'm saying? 10 more hours a week of work, and they love it because they're getting the bread and all that. But you know, it doesn't even, okay, you know how you work like 10 more hours of work. So instead of 40 hours, you might work 50 hours. But that check don't look like you didn't work them 10 more hours. You know what I'm talking about? It don't really even add up the way you wanted to add up. It's like, dang, it's like a lot more taxes get taken out, right? A lot more taxes get taken out. You probably get an extra 300, 300, most people, whatever. But for people who are poor, they don't care. They'll take it for them extra 10 hours. But they working you to death during these times. I think it's like for a month or 2 months or something like that. Is it something like that? Something like that, right?
2 months.
Yeah,
2 months.
2 months, right? They're in that warehouse going crazy for because of the peak season. Because of the peak season. You know what I mean?
Actually 3, because it starts off at November.
There you go. To January, right? Yeah. There you go. Perfect, right? And they know that, man. They don't give a damn. This is a time this should be a time when you around your family, right? If it's supposed to be about family and love and giving, right? Go ahead. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay. If you could pull, let me get Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 in the Apocrypha. Shout out.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Say it again.
Never trust thine enemy.
What the Bible say about enemies, man? The Lord said, don't ever trust your enemies. Wait, now, this is my question. If God loved everybody, why he said don't trust your enemies? Right? If God loved everybody, why in the Bible did he just say don't trust your enemies? Because God doesn't love everybody. And there's definitely enemies of the children of Israel in the Bible, in the earth. You understand? Shut her up.
Christ had enemies.
Christ had enemies.
Romans.
Right. He was on the run. Why would he be on the run for people he loved? You know what I mean? Don't make no sense. The Lord said, don't ever trust your enemies. They giving you Christmas, man. They giving you Christmas. They giving you Thanksgiving. They giving you reasons to sin. More reasons to sin. This whole society is built. It's only going to last long. It's this long and it's lasting long because they create more and more reasons for you to break the law so they can stay in power. You understand? Anything that can keep you suppressed, anything that can keep you down and low and away from your knowledge, they're going to do because they know that's how they keep the length of their power going. You understand? So we here to tell you the truth and to wake you up and to tell you to move away from it. That's killing their power and shortening their time. You know what I'm saying? It's shortening their time. So if we can come together, like the Bible says in what's that precept about? Zephaniah, right? Where it says, gather together, O nation that desire. We can come together and find out what the Lord said, what he wants us to do, and do them as one. We could shorten the time and we could take rule over the world. But of course, that sounds like a tall task for some, but that's the task of every brother in the school in ISUBK. You understand, right? Give me Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. I'm gonna give you like 2 more priests and I can take your questions, all right? There's a microwave too. You need to warm it up.
It's like Ecclesiastes 2.
1 and 15.
1 and 15.
Yeah.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
She has built an everlasting foundation.
No, it is Ecclesiastes. No, now you're in Ecclesiasticus. Give me Ecclesiastes in the scripture Bible. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Read again.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Right, y'all understand, right? The Lord made people crooked for a reason. Some people crooked. Who did he make crooked? Because listen, once we raise your hand if you was crooked before. Raise your hand, right? I was crooked for sure. But you can be made straight. You can be made different. You can change. You can be born again. But there is someone who is born crooked who cannot be changed. Who is that? Shout out.
Esau.
Esau. Y'all understand, right? You understand the context. If we was born and we was born in sin and we would be able to be born again, there's somebody who was born crooked who cannot be born again. Y'all understand, right? There's someone who is born crooked who cannot be made straight. So stop trying to find reasons why to love the white man and to love Esau. There's no reason to love him. There's no reason to try to find love in him because he's made the way he's made for a reason. Y'all understand? So let me get Psalms 139 and 21. Saki, before you go there, give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 1.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
To everything there is a season.
To everything there's a season. Go ahead.
And a time to every purpose.
Perfect. Drop down to verse 8.
A time to love.
Mm-hmm.
A time to hate.
A time to love and a time to hate. We in both those times right now. We in a time to love our own, and we in a time to hate. Hate who? Hate our enemy. Go ahead.
A time of war.
We in a time of war. Go ahead.
And a time of peace.
And we in that same time, right? You're in a time of love, and at the same time, you're in a time of hate. You're in a time of war, and at the same time, you're in a time of peace. Go to war with yourselves. You understand, right? Go to war with yourself. Go to war with your flesh, right? To have peace. You know what I mean? Do you want to have peace? You got to go to war with your flesh. Go ahead, Shadra.
You know, our oppressor is so hypocritical when he say love everybody and then just love. But we just reading right now, there's a time to hate. But in the beginning of this, it says that there is a season in verse 1.
Right.
Now, there was a record back in the 70s by these white boys, Salaki, by Esau, called Turn, Turn, Turn. There is a season to turn, turn. And even in that song, it says a time to love, a time to hate. They even say it there, but they blinded us now with this. Love everything.
Everything, right? Love every damn thing.
Season for everything under the sun.
Perfect. Let me get Psalms 139 and 21. That's if you want to give me one, I'm gonna break down your question, all right?
139 and 21.
Yes.
The book of
You
Psalms.
can grab some more if you want some too. That's a lot of pizza. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Do not I hate them, O Lord, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee.
What did the scripture just say? Excuse me. Read it again.
The book, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee.
Right. This is David, right? David said, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. I thought hate wasn't in the Bible. I thought God didn't hate. David just said, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. Who hates you? Your enemies hate you.
Right.
Esau, Moab, give me some more. Ammon, Ham, Amalek. Go ahead. Elam. These are all nations, other nations in the world, right? They're biblical names. They all hate you. The Lord, and David said, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. Why does David hate them? Because they hate God.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And you're going to hate what God hates. That's who you hate. You don't hate who you hate what God hates. Go ahead.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee?
And am I not grieved with those that rise up against you? Go ahead.
Verse 22. I hate them with a perfect hatred.
I hate them with a what?
With a perfect hatred.
I hate them with a what?
With a perfect hatred.
Go ahead.
I count them mine enemies.
I count them my what?
I count them mine enemies.
Y'all understand, right? That's what David said, man. He count them my enemies. Listen, you don't have to. Every time you see an enemy, you don't got to put them down. Biblically speaking, with in our belief, you don't have to. When I say put them down, you don't got to kill them, right? There's a time for war, right? But right now, with our enemies, what do? We just don't trust them. We don't deal with them. We deal with them accordingly. You understand? What does it mean accordingly? You see them on your job, you deal with them professionally. You see them as your doctor, you deal with them professionally. The scriptures say honor a physician, right? You honor them as a doctor. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be their friend. You don't want to invite them over to a barbecue, whatever. You just deal with them professionally. You get in, you handle your business, and you get out. But we hate them as a people, not because of a personal hate, right? Oh, we don't personally know your doctor. Well, we personally hate their beliefs, and what they believe is to have authority over you, right? Is to keep you docile, right? So you have to hate. You have to have your enemies, and you have to hate your enemies. Ain't no cordial. Let's not. You can be cordial. Ain't no finding peace with enemies when they never wanted to find peace with you. You understand? If you want to know, if you want to know that, right? Read Psalm, was that 83? Psalms 83, right? The prayer, right? Read Psalms 83 when you get a chance, and all the nations that will come up against you. 1 second. Perfect. All right. Boom, boom. Solid. We're good to go on that topic. I'm gonna answer a few of these questions, but before I answer these questions online, y'all got any questions in the room?
So like I said,
Go ahead.
so you saying we can't be cool with them? Cause like I hang around these. Like, I basically grew up
You hang out with who?
like heathens. Well, not a lot of them. I got this one friend that I'm like pretty cool. We knew each other for a while. So like, how do I go about that? Since you said we can't be like,
Okay, when you say like he's your friend, like you guys go to each other's houses and stuff like that.
I've been in his house.
Okay. Just think
I don't know nothing weird.
no, I get you. I just think about it like this, right? Like the more you grow into the truth, it's not a sin to be his friend. First of all, you can definitely be a friend of his and hang out with him if you would like to do that. But the more you come in here, the more you would not do that. You get what I'm saying? The more you see things, the more you'll just start cutting yourself off because the spirit behind it just be like, this is not who I am.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? This is not what it is. But it's not a sin to have a friend as a heathen. Not at all. You understand, right? But just remember who he is at his core. You know what I'm saying? All right, solid. Okay. Can I get a breakdown? No questions in the room? Solid. Can I get a breakdown on John 7:35? And can I use Matthew 10:5 for a precept? Let's get John 7:35.
The book of John, chapter 7, and verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither he go, that we shall not find him. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Perfect, right? This is talking about Christ and Christ's left, right? Christ left. Read it again, Slacker. This is a Gentile breakdown. Go ahead, read again.
The book of John, chapter 7, and verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Will he go amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Who are the Gentiles, right? The Gentiles, according to the Bible, are heathens and or Israelites who grew up as heathens, meaning grew up outside of Jerusalem, right? People who took on the customs of other races that were Israelites, right? So they asking, would he go amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Will Christ go amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 36. What manner of saying is this that he said, ye shall seek me and shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come.
Go ahead. So I can go back to 35.
Verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves.
Said the who amongst themselves?
The Jews among themselves.
Right. The Jews said amongst themselves. Go ahead.
Whither will he go?
Man, remember these Jews. Listen, you're a Jew, right? A person who is a Gentile could also be a Jew.
Right.
They just got to be Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. You understand, right? But in this context, they're talking about these Jews that are saying that about Christ. These are the people who grew up in Jerusalem. You understand? So those were the Jews that are saying this. So for them to say, will he go amongst the Gentiles? Was talking about Christ going amongst other Black people who are also Jews, but as they're known as Gentiles to people who grew up in Jerusalem. Y'all follow me?
Come on.
All right, solid. Now let's get to Matthew 10 and 5 so I can break it, see if it's a precept for it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Read it again.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Right. Go not into the way of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Right. So perfect. So can you use this as a precept? Absolutely, because this context is different, right? So now he just said, will he go to the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles, right? Yes, he was going to go into them and teach the Gentiles because those Gentiles were Israelites. What that also actually became Paul's mission. When Christ said this to the brethren, right, to the brothers, about don't go into the way into the Gentiles, he was talking about heathens. Y'all understand? He was talking about heathens at this point, right? So you would want to precept with, so like if you want to pull the Bible dictionary, you want to go into Gentiles and you want to go into heathens as well. You want to go into both those things to prove your point to pull this precept. Not to solve if you want to use it, all right? Go ahead.
You want the
You got it? Kai, go to
Gentiles.
okay, go to Gentiles is good, but hold on. Give me Isaiah 49 and 6 first. Isaiah 49, this is another precept you want to use, right? Isaiah 49 and 6 through 7. But read that first. Salaki, read that. You right, read that first.
It's the Zondervan Bible Dictionary,
Mhm.
Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 307.
Go ahead.
Gentiles, Hebrew, Goy, plural, Goyim, nation, people, translated Gentiles in the King James Version of the Old Testament 30 times. I'm gonna go down.
Yeah, go to that spot.
Sometimes Goy refers to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
See, and Hellenist Greeks is translated Gentiles.
Hellenist Greeks is translated what?
Gentiles.
Perfect. Keep going though. I need you a little more. Gentiles are usually, where it says usually, probably right in the middle.
Oh, it's like Goy usually means a non-Israelitish people.
Right. Did it say Goy or Gentile?
Well, Goy
Okay, go ahead.
is translated as Gentile.
Just say it as Gentile if you could.
Gentiles usually means a non-Israelite people.
Right. Gentile usually means it means a non-Israelite people. Go ahead. That's all you need. Usually it means not an Israelite people. Usually, not all the time, but usually, because technically every person that is should be. It's like every person that is not an Israelite should be a Gentile, right? Now give me Isaiah 49 and 6.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob
Mm-hmm.
and to restore the preserved of Israel.
Go ahead.
I will also give thee for a light of the Gentiles.
The light of the what?
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles.
You also would be a light for the Gentiles. Gentiles are Israelites. You understand? Gentiles are Israelites. Of course, you have to see them to know who they are, though. Because the Gentile, of course, we said the context. You're going to be a light unto the Gentiles. That light was going to be, this is a prophecy of Christ being a light to the brothers who were born outside of Jerusalem. You understand? These brothers who didn't get circumcised, these brothers who never been to a Passover, things like that. You understand, right? Perfect. Got another question here. Can I get a breakdown on Matthew 22 and 12? Let's get Matthew 22 and 12. Why did the king kick out the man for not having a wedding garment? What's the metaphor? Got you.
So you said 22 and 12.
Yeah.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 12. And he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he said unto him, friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away. And
Wait. Read again from the top.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
Right. How you coming here without having a wedding garment? Go ahead.
And he was speechless. Verse 13. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Wait. Go up to verse 20. 2 and 20.
Sorry.
Verse 2 and 20. Or 12 and 20. It's like
22.
no 12 and 20. Use that 12 and 22, right?
No,
Or it's like
12.
22 and 20. My bad.
22 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 20.
Wait, my golly. 22 and 10.
Verse 10. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see his guests, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment.
One more time. Okay, go to 22 and 6.
Verse
Or
6.
Yeah, 22 and 6. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
Keep going.
Verse 8. Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Perfect. They that which were bidden were not worthy. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Go ye thereof into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good.
Go ahead.
And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. Verse 12. And he said unto the man, Friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Verse 13. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen.
Keep going.
Verse 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel, how they might entangle him in his talk. Verse 16. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of man. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?
Hold on 1 second. You had 22 and 12, right?
22 and 17.
All right. Start at 12. I remember this. I remember this precept. Remember this breakdown. 1 second. I gotta get the context a little bit. Matthew 22. Give me 1 second.
I need my water, mommy. I need my water.
Perfect. All right, got you. So we start at 12 one more time.
Okay. The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 12.
Okay, I'll give you some context. So in the first, right, if you go up to verse 4 or 5, the Lord had invited guests to his wedding, right? But these guests took his invitation light. They wouldn't come to the wedding. They didn't come to the work. They didn't want to come get the work, right? The work was the people who were basically the people that are invited to the wedding were the people who were supposed to be the servants of God. You know what I'm saying? The pastors, your pastors, and all these people. They wanted to be they're supposed to be the servants of God, but they didn't show up. They rather tend to their farm and do what was right for them, meaning they had to make their money. Money was more important than serving. So the Lord said, get rid of them. It's good. It's over with. Go find me some more. Go find me more, both bad and good. So they went to the highways and byways, and they found people from the streets, people who were from the rough spot, people who no one would believe that these are men of God, right? And when they came to the wedding, there was a cat that came there with no wedding garment. He said, why you not prepared? Why you not ready? Why you not, why you didn't come, in front of me with honor, right? And when he didn't do it, he got rid of him, right? The metaphor behind that is, that's why he said, many are called, but few are chosen. You might get called to the work, but you might not get chose to the kingdom. You understand? That was the part. That was the metaphor of it. You might get called to the work, but you might not get chosen for the kingdom or chosen to do the work which is right. A lot of people might come in here, they'll work for a time, work for a little bit, but they'll leave. They'll be gone. The Lord get rid of them. You understand, right? That's why it's important to come in here and do what is right for the Lord get rid of you. Remember, the Lord said in Revelation, he'll spew you out his mouth. He'll kick you out if you're not hot, if you lukewarm, right? So that's it. All right, solid. One more question. In our kingdom, will there still be camps and classes, or will we all know to keep the commandments? Okay. We would still have to teach our children. It's like, just think about this world. Just think about this world being our world, right? Like, as a child, like a kid that is born, you're still gonna have to teach them, what to eat, what to keep, what to put in their mouth, and how to teach. You know what I'm saying? You have to still bring a child up and all that. But the society that the child is built in will be a society that they can go to the store and there won't be pork there for them to buy. You get what I'm saying? They can go to school and no one, you can trust everyone to never touch your child, and it's a safe environment. It won't be no school shooters. Like the environment, like the world, the society of our heaven will be a place that is you can trust. You get what I'm saying? It's a place that is going to be beautiful. It's amazing because it's going to be under Christ, and we're going to be under his authority, and we're going to be the ones ruling the world. You get what I mean? So will there be classes? Will there be classes? Absolutely, there'll be classes. There's going to be more classes, more advanced classes. You get what I'm saying? Even during the time of Christ, or during the time of the Sadducees and Pharisees, these cats were always in class. You're learning more about the law, learning more about the scriptures and what the Lord wants. The thing is, we'll have Christ there to show us, and then the man he puts in charge or gives power to really give it to us. You know what I mean? So you still have those, and then the men. Would you have camp? You won't need to have camp, but there's more work to be done. You get what I'm saying? Now, this what I'm about to say is just a theory. It's not true, but there's other planets. You get what I'm saying? There's other planets, there's other galaxies, there's other places that probably need to be conquered. And the Lord gonna give us more work to go conquer, or more power to go conquer those things. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's just a theory. It's not true. It's not in the Bible. But the scriptures also say, things have not entered into the mind what the Lord got in store for you. I'm paraphrasing. Y'all know that precept, right? His ways are higher than our ways and all that. So there's still going to be work to do in the kingdom of heaven, just to answer your question, sis. You know what I mean? There's definitely going to be work to do. We're going back to agriculture. You know what I mean? It's going to be more of an agriculture type thing, meaning it's going to be more of what you see in, like, if you watch Game of Thrones, anybody watch Game of Thrones? Or any movie you think of with castles and land and tending to a farm. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're going back to. You understand, right? Solid. All right. Any questions in the class? All right. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shadrach.
Men of Israel, Elijah, may stand. Going to face the teacher, give teacher courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majam Shabbat, Majam, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Barak. Men of Israel, face the sisters. Sorry. Men of Israel, sisters, right? Men of Israel, Majam Shabbat, Majam, Barak, Yahweh Shemal, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat.
There you go. I got you. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Like this is? Yahweh Shamar.
Yahweh Shamar.
Alatah.
Alatah.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah.
Call it.
Yahi Matat, dismissed.